Hello students, the topic for today is genetic basis of oral disease. The learning objectives for this topic are you have to understand the basics of genetic aspects of oral disease in brief, and also you have to understand different chromosomal aberrations, and you should know about various oral and dental anomalies with genetic or chromosomal aberrations. Most of the conditions which are related to this genetic or chromosomal aberrations you will come across in different subjects of your BDS, from oral medicine to pediatric dentistry along with oral pathology. So I'll be just touching briefly on the genetic aspects of those things. I'll not be going into detail about each condition. Variations in tooth size, prevalence of dental caries, periodontal diseases, and occlusion are seen even in family members. The factors affecting disease include genetic and environmental. And as you see from this particular representation, you have genetic, environmental, and a combination of both genetic and environmental factors. So you can put it as like genetic, ABO, blood groups, and hemophilia, and environmental purely like related to some environmental conditions. And cholera, you can give as an example. And asthma, it can be a combination of both genetic and environmental in origin. Gene is a basic element in genetics found in cell nucleus, whereas chromosome is a body containing many genes, and humans have 46 chromosomes made in 23 pairs, with each a pair of two resembling each other in size and shape, and there will be 22 pairs of autosomes and a pair of sex chromosomes. Autosomes are grouped from A to G, and the A group will have 1, 2, 3 pairs, whereas B will have 4 and 5 pairs. C will have 6 to 12 pairs. D will have 13 to 15, and E 16 to 18 pairs, whereas F will have 19 and 20, and G will have 21 and 22 pairs. You have to understand that autosomes are from 1 to 22 pairs, and which are grouped from A to G. A pair of two are homologous to each other, one each derived from each parent. So out of these chromosomes, each pair will be having one each derived from each parent, and they will be homologous to each other. Two other chromosomes are X and Y, sex chromosomes, and Y is smaller in size and shape to X. And females have two X chromosomes, and males have one X and one Y chromosome. Karyotyping is nothing but examination of chromosomes under microscope for changes in size, shape, number, and fine structure. Types of chromosomes are like the classification. There will be metacentric, submetacentric, acrocentric, and telocentric type of chromosomes. And the parts of chromosomes, if you see, there will be a centromere at the center, and there will be a telomere, and you will have a upper limb or upper arm or P arm, and the lower limb or lower arm or Q arm. Okay. Here you can see different the structure or types of chromosomes, and understand standard staining how they appear, the chromosomes, and with the G banded thing how they appear, and you can see the parts, and these are otherwise termed as hysterochromatids also. And centromere, based on centromeric position and arm length, these are classified as metacentric, submetacentric, acrocentric, and telocentric. And these genes are located along the longitudinal axis of the chromosomes. A term locus means specific location site of gene on the chromosome. You term it as a locus. And there are two loci for each gene. one each on a pair of chromosomes. So for each gene will have two loci and one each on a pair of chromosomes. Mutation is alteration of the combination of genes due to environmental factors, and these mutations are transmitted to descendants or next generation. Example, if capital A is a gene and two capital A's are combination is a homologous thing, and if a mutation changes one A to one capital A to a small a, future population will have original capital AA combination and two new pairs, that is capital A small a combination and two small a's combination. And the allele is a relationship between two genes of the same locus, whether homologous, that is capital A, or heterologous capital A small a combination. So this allele is nothing but a relation between two genes of the same locus, whether they are homologous or heterologous. Homologous means they are similar to each other, that is two capital A's or two small a's. But if it is a heterologous means one capital A, one small a combination, that is one original gene and one altered gene or a mutated gene. Dominant, it is a genetic state in which a character can be expressed by a single gene, that is heterozygous, expressing a trait. Recessive, both genes should be similar, expressing the same trait, that is homozygous. It means dominant, if you see a capital A combination or a capital A small a combination, it can express as a dominant one, either homozygous or heterozygous. Whereas recessive, both genes should be similar, expressing the same trait. That means both genes should be altered, that is two small a combination, rather than one capital A small a or two capital A's combination. So both should be recessive, like altered genes, then only recessive trait can be expressed. Genotype, it is a genetic makeup and the set of genes that an individual carried, and in particular the specific pair of alleles, that is alternative forms of a particular gene that a person has at a given location or locus of the genome. Whereas phenotype is the expression. Genotype, you have to think it as a internal makeup or genetic makeup of a particular individual, whereas phenotype is expression of the trait outside. Like what is there within or inside is genotype, what is expressed outwardly is phenotype, that is expression of the trait outside. The observable properties and physical characteristics of an individual as determined by the individual's genotype and the environment in which the individual develops over a period of time. Capital E is dominant and small a is recessive, and capital A combination and capital A small a combination will have similar phenotype, whereas both small a's combination will have a different phenotype, because here it is a dominant thing, and here it will become a recessive sometimes, or maybe because it has a different total combination. So definitely it is a different phenotype for small a combination. The term monogenic is that is produced and regulated by a single gene locus. This monogenic or monogenic type of inheritance will be produced and regulated by a single gene locus, and it will be relatively rare and less than 1 in 1000 births, and it will have striking features. That is the examples given for monogenic inheritance are albinism, achondroplasia, neurofibromatosis, and it occurs in families and shows transmission from one generation to another generation. Whereas polygenic type of inheritance, it will occur through many gene loci regulating a particular trait. Individually, it will have minimal effect, but collectively show an additive or compound effect. And this polygenic type of inheritance exerts influence over common characteristics as skin, height, and intelligence, quotient or IQ. Multifactorial type of inheritance will occur through interaction of multiple genes and environmental factors. It will be a net effect, not simply the additive effect. Example is cleft lip and palate. Then the mode of inheritance can be X-linked with X or Y, or autosomal with the autosomes. Sex-linked is mostly X-linked, because X-linked is many times it is mentioned as X-linked type of inheritance also, because it depends on the course of X chromosome carrying a referred gene rather than Y. Females can be homozygous or heterozygous because of 2X. Males will have only one representative of any sex-linked gene. So sex-linked or X-linked dominant, the characteristics are, if an affected male is married to a normal female, genes will be transmitted to daughter, not the sons. The number of women carrying such X-linked dominant gene is usually twice to men. The example for X-linked dominant inheritance is amelogenesis imperfecta. Whereas X-linked recessive is seen only in males mostly, as male has only one gene that carries a particular trait. In females, if the X chromosome is normal, the disease is not manifested. That is rare to see two affected X chromosomes. Okay. Example is hemophilia, ectodermal dysplasias with lack of perspiration, oligodontia, sparse hair, etc., or a form of X-linked recessive inheritance, what you observe. The characteristics of sex-linked or X-linked recessive inheritance are, it is never transmitted from father to son, and daughters of the male genetic carrier can be normal. However, her sons, that is the grandson of the male carrier, and her daughter's sons would often manifest. That is, it will skip the generations. Okay, appears to discretely skip the generations, and the prevalence is high in the males than the females. That is, X-linked recessive inheritance prevalence is more in the, or higher in the males than the females. Then autosomal inheritance. Here, if it is a both capital A's, that is one, both are normal, and then are one normal and one affected combination, like capital A small a combination, it will be a dominant inheritance. Whereas both small a combination, it will be a recessive type of inheritance. Okay, so autosomal dominant inheritance, the features are affected members in every successive generations. The probability of inheritance is 50% to the next generation. That means you will see the affected individuals in the every generation. It will not skip. Normal members never produce any affected offsprings, definitely, because of the dominant characteristics of a normal thing. So there will not be any sex difference also. And examples for this autosomal dominant inheritance include hypocalcification type of amelogenesis imperfecta, dentinogenesis imperfecta also, and it will happen in 1 in 8,000 cases. That is autosomal dominant inheritance. Autosomal recessive inheritance features include the both parents have at least one affected gene, that is small a. That means both parents should have capital A small a combination. Then 25% probability of children having both small a's if both parents have capital A small a, that is one affected and one normal and one affected gene. So parents are usually normal because it will not be expressed in them because of that heterozygous thing, whereas children with both small a combination will show the features, and it will be usually because of the consanguineous marriages, and no sex difference will be seen in the expression. And the example are Papillon-Lefevre syndrome, albinism, acanthalassemia, which leads to oral gangrene. Then coming to chromosomal aberrations. Chromosomal aberrations can be a change in either number or structure of the chromosome, or both, which leads to critical illness. There can be a quantitative change in the number of the genes and also a qualitative alteration in the their combination. Chromosomal aberrations can be either numerical aberrations or structural aberrations. Numerical aberrations are change in the number of chromosomes. There can be aneuploidy, polyploidy, or syndrome. Aneuploidy is when chromosomes fail to separate at anaphase stage and transfer together to one pole. That means 45 or 47 in the human cells rather than 46. Okay, then polyploid is when chromosome number exceeds the diploid number, that is more than the diploid number, that is 46. Syndrome, it will be a collection of symptoms or signs caused by a particular genetic makeup. Here you can see the numerical alterations or aberrations, aneuploidy, polyploidy, and the polyploidy usually leads to abortions, and there will not be any live births. Then aneuploidy will have monosomy or trisomy. For monosomy, the example is Turner syndrome with 45 and X, single X, that is 45X female. Then under trisomy, you have Down syndrome, that is trisomy 21, Edwards syndrome or trisomy 18, or Klinefelter syndrome, that is double XY or triple XY syndrome. Structural aberrations includes deletion, that is breaking away of a portion of the chromosome; inversion, that broken fragment reattaches in reverse orientation in the same chromosome, which is termed as inversion; translocation, two chromosomes break and exchange their broken segments. You call it as translocation. Duplication, an overrepresentation of a specific chromosomal region. You call it as duplication. As ring chromosome is chromosome forming a ring with loss of some fragment. Isochromosome, division at centromere with the two p arms and two q arms separated as separate. But you call it as isochromosomes. Here you can see translocation. There will be a broken part of this thing here, and they attach separately. So one white, one black one is getting attached. Here again, one black one and white one are getting attached, and future representation will be like this. Same way, inversion is represented here. Deletions you can see in this. Duplication is seen here. Then ring chromosome, isochromosome. Structural aberrations include deletion, translocation. So under deletion, it is Cray-Duchart syndrome, that is short arm chromosome for chromosome number 5. The translocation, it can be leukemias with Philadelphia chromosome number 22, Down syndrome or a carrier for Down syndrome. It can be due to aberrations in 1421 or 2121 or 2122, and lymphomas. Down syndrome or trisomy 21, it can be due to, it is due to the three chromosomes at 21, and 1 in 600 to 700 live births it will be observed, and 3 chromosomes in the G group 21 instead of 2, that is why it is termed as trisomy 21. And the physical and mental retardation will be there, and with an IQ between 25 to 50. There will be delayed tooth eruption, congenitally missing teeth, abnormal dental morphology, enlarged and fissured tongue, or severe periodontal disease, etc. in children with Down syndrome. As Turner syndrome, it will have 45 X, that is one missing X chromosome will be there. They will be of a short stature, heart-shaped faces will be there, prominent ears, webbing of posterior neck, low posterior hairline, congenital lymphedema, coarctation of the aorta, broad chest, hypogonadism, auditory defects. These are the different features what you observe in Turner's syndrome. Klinefelter syndrome is double XY or triple XY, that is extra X chromosome in the males. Taurodontism is observed and they have relatively short limbs, normal intelligence or mild mental retardation, tall, slim stature, weak facial hair, coarse voice, osteoporosis, gynecomastia, and hypogonadism are the features observed in Klinefelter syndrome. Crouzon or Apert syndrome, they are due to autosomal dominant genetic disorders. Crouzon syndrome will show craniosynostosis, shallow orbits with proptosis and strabismus, midface deficiency, whereas Apert syndrome will show craniosynostosis, proptosis, down slanting of palpebral fissures, strabismus, orbital hypoterrorism, midface deficiency, high arched palate, symmetric syndactyly of hands and feet involving second, third, and fourth digits. Coming to the genetic aspects of dental diseases, dental caries, whether there is a genetic correlation, if a question arises, the obvious answer is no. As the disease mainly depends on the environmental factors such as fluoridation, topical fluorides, carbohydrate intake, brushing habits, saliva habits, etc. And there will be similar type of food habits or brushing habits in the family. So it will have more of a environmental or local factors which will be influencing. But you cannot totally take away the influence of the genetic factors here, because genetic factors can influence the structure of the teeth or enamel, which makes them susceptible to environmental factors if the proper care is not taken. That's how you can say that genetics indirectly influences formation of dental caries or weakening of the tooth structure, leading to even fractures also. Decrease in caries even in twins and siblings can be attributed to these environmental factors. Studies done in the family members and the probability of occurrence of disease, if you can see, monozygotic twins, it is 100% chance, siblings, it is 50%, parent to offspring, 50%, half siblings is 25%, and husband to wife, it is 0%, unless they are related to each other, like from the previous generation. Malocclusions, not much except for some cases of abnormal jaw size and tooth size variations. Periodontal disease, how you observe in different systemic conditions such as Papal and liver syndrome, which is a autosomal recessive type of inheritance. Hyperkeratosis of palms and soles are observed. Premature loss of periodontal tissue of both primary and permanent teeth. Deep pockets. Loss of alveolar bone, exfoliation by 4 to 5 years of age. Gingiva becomes normal after loss of primary teeth. It manifests again with the eruption of the permanent teeth. Whereas hypophosphatasia, it is an autosomal recessive with decrease in serum alkali phosphatase. So this is also autosomal recessive, but shown with decrease in the serum alkali phosphatase. Teeth are lost without any inflammatory gingival or periodontal disease with extensive alveolar bone loss. Other factors or other conditions which can be seen for under periodontal disease are acanthalassemia, autosomal recessive, hereditary gingival fibromatosis, which is of autosomal dominant thing, then Down syndrome, epidermolysis bullosa, either autosomal dominant or autosomal recessive. Hereditary anomalies of teeth and face, if you look at the teeth, it can be in the number, that is hypodontia, anodontia. Ectodermal dysplasias is a condition which can show anodontia or hypodontia. Then structural aberrations can be like amelogenesis imperfecta, hypoplasia type 1 autosomal dominant, whereas thin and smooth type 2 will be autosomal dominant also. Thin, rough type 3 also autosomal dominant. Repeated type 4 is also autosomal dominant, whereas localized type 5 rough will be X-linked dominant. Hypocalcification, hypomaturation type 1 will be of X-linked recessive inheritance, and type 2 type of hypocalcification, hypomaturation is autosomal recessive. Pigmented type 3 or snow-capped variety is there. Then dentinogenesis imperfecta type 1 and osteogenesis imperfecta type 2, apolescent dentin type 3 Brandywine isolated adolescent dentin also will be under this genetic alterations. You can observe in this particular table different syndromes with hypodontia or missing teeth in which the gene defect has been identified. Oligodontia associated defects are none, but gene is MSX1 type of molecule is transcription factor. Then PAX9 also will be influencing oligodontia, and the transcription factor is there. Rager syndrome, eye and umbilical defects. Here P1TX2, P80TX2 is the gene expressed, and transcription factor is there. Hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia, hypoplastic hair and glands are observed in this, and EDA, that is ectode dysplasin, is the gene, and TNF signal is the type of molecule. Hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia, EEC. Again, you can see hypoplastic hair and glands, ectodermal dysplasia, ectrodactyly, cleft palate, and P63 gene is the gene expressing here, and transcription factor is the type of molecule. Diastrophic dysplasia, osteochondrodysplasia will be observed. DTDST is the gene, and sulfate transporter is the molecule. CLPD1 is the syndrome, and in which cleft lip palate, ectodermal dysplasia will be observed, and PVRL1 or nectin1 is the gene, and cell adhesion molecule is the one which is the type of molecule. The anomalies of face due to this genetic or chromosomal aberrations are cleidocranial dysostosis, which is autosomal dominant, Treacher-Collins syndrome autosomal dominant, Apert syndrome also is autosomal dominant, whereas cleft lip palate, as mentioned before, it is a multifactorial type of inheritance. Ectodermal dysplasias can be due to autosomal dominant or X-linked recessive inheritance, involves tissue or of the tissues of the ectodermal origin, sparse fine hair on the scalp, absence of eyebrows, flat broad sidal nose, atopic rhinitis, pouting and averted lips, protruding ears, dry encrusted skin, lack of perspiration can be observed. Complete or partial absence of teeth, that is anodontia or oligodontia, conically shaped teeth. Then absence of sweat glands leads to increase in the body temperature, intolerance to heat, convulsions during infancy due to increased temperature. Then peg-shaped teeth, it will happen during the initiation and differentiation stage of the development of teeth. Incomplete manifestation of a missing teeth, that is peg-shaped teeth. Supernumerary is increase in the number of teeth or abnormal, like number of teeth. You term it as hyperdontia also. This is the end of this particular topic. See you in the next class.